Hello everybody, this is Lucas. Welcome to Lucas Daily. In this episode, we are going to talk about a very special topic for me, very close to my heart. How do you control your diabetes? I've had the disease for about eight years now, and over that time, I've had ups and downs, but I think by now I've kind of figured out what to do and how to lead a healthy lifestyle that allows me to maintain and control my sugars, that I don't have to deal with all of those complications that usually come with the disease. And so today I'm going to share a very important tip that I think if you follow, you can probably be 90% there as far as sugar control goes. And that tip is simply this idea of always keeping in mind that big inputs in any system, big inputs give you big errors. And so the way this relates to your blood sugar control is that whenever you eat a lot of carbohydrates, you have to give yourself a lot of insulin. And there's a number of things that could go wrong with that. There's a lot of possibility for error. And you can't really handle the error because it's very unexpected. So the only thing you can do is to avoid it. So to illustrate what could possibly go wrong, let me just give you an example. Let's say you've had a big meal, big pasta meal that's about 100 grams of carbs, and you've looked at the box, you figured it's 100 grams, and so you're going to give yourself about 10 units of insulin so that you can cover the whole thing. And you think you've done everything and your sugar should be fine, but the truth is the chance of that happening is so small, it's absolutely next to none. And the reason for that is, first of all, when you look at the nutrition facts, the variability in the data is huge. The allowed percentage that the variance in the reported data is about 20%. So if you've had 100 grams and you calculated everything perfectly, just right on the money, you could have made a 20% mistake, and that's not due to your error, but due to manufacturer's error. So that's one thing, right? But so let's say you've had that 100 grams, and now you've either either given yourself too much insulin, or you've given yourself too little insulin. And if you're a regular diabetic, a 20 gram difference will usually raise your 20 grams of carbohydrates will usually raise your blood sugar by 100. So now instead of having your sugar at a perfect 100, maybe you go to 200, or maybe you go to a very low sugar and you have to correct it. Another thing is, you think even if you let's forget it for a second about that error. Let's just assume that you've calculated that it's 100 and you're going to give yourself 10 units of insulin. Well, the thing about insulin is that it's a foreign agent in the body, so not all of it is usually going to get absorbed, and the more you inject yourself, the less of it is going to get accepted by the body. So the studies show that about 30%, up to 30% can be discarded by the body. So now going from that 10, that insulin you've injected yourself, maybe only 7 units will be active. So again, you now have even if you thought that you did everything perfect, now there is a huge chance that you could actually go high with your blood sugar. Another thing is, you maybe have given yourself insulin, and all of a sudden you need to go somewhere, and you do a little bit of an exercise, and then that insulin is going to become a lot more active. It's going to activate some the insulin is gonna be more reactive, and you won't actually need as much. So you go low. So, and there are all of those different things that could possibly happen. These are only a few. But the bottom line is, if you're eating a lot of carbs and accordingly giving yourself a lot of insulin, there is very little chance that you'll have a stable blood sugar. And a stable blood sugar, by my standards, and according to the research that shows at what point you start having complication, is nothing above 140. So if you're going above 140, you do not have a stable blood sugar. And even 140 is the very very end of the range, so you really don't want to be there. So what do? Well, you switch your diet, and just like you thought you should do, you do not eat very carb-heavy foods. So you stay away from them, and you replace a lot of it in your diet with fat. The beautiful thing about fat is that it does not cause any rise in blood sugar. So you can eat all of it in the world and nothing will happen with your blood sugar. If you're worried about heart disease, there's really nothing to worry about. I'll do a video about it. I'll show what the real risks are, but if you do your own search, you'll see that there are countless examples and countless studies that show that saturated fat in meat and in fat, which is presumably what you're gonna get your extra fat calories from, is not harmful. So with that said, eat more fat, absolutely limit your carbohydrates. Ask 100 people with diabetes who are controlling their disease what are they doing to control it, and this is gonna be their answer. So I hope that has been helpful, and with that, I'm gonna close and say, well, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, please follow me on Twitter, and if you have any questions, leave a comment in the section below and I'll try to answer that in the follow-up video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.